We have all fallen in love with the cunning Captain Jack Sparrow, played by the beloved Johnny Depp, a trickster pirate who is one of a kind. But it seems like this pirate has more to him than we think. From his unknown backstory to his uncanny luck, Jack Sparrow is one of those characters that will just never be forgotten from film history. I'm your host Andrew, and here are your top 10 Captain Jack Sparrow scary urban legends. Starting our list right at number 10, we have Jack Sparrow is Jack Skellington. Fans are convinced that these two Jacks are in fact the same person. This theory is a good one, so pay close attention. In the movie James and the Giant Peach, there is a scene where a centipede travels underwater to find a compass on a sunken pirate ship. Now, if you see Nightmare Before Christmas, you would notice that the captain of the ship resembles the same figure as Jack Skellington. And it's no surprise, since the director Henry Selick shot both of the films. And for more clarity, here's a timeline of each movie. Pirates of the Caribbean in the 1700s, James and the Giant Peach in the 1920s to 50s, and then Nightmare Before Christmas around the 1960s due to the technology and cars seen in the film. This makes it even more plausible for this theory to work out, but we ain't done yet. It's theorized that sometime after the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Jack Sparrow finds a crew for the Black Pearl, but eventually they just sink. We all know this doesn't mean they're dead because we know all the many curses put on Jack Sparrow during the movies. Now let's say someone finds it, aka Mr. Centipede with the French hat, and touches the compass, which you all know Sparrow has and loves. This definitely would be the reason why an undead crew of pirates spawned out of nowhere. They say eventually the ship washes away to Halloween Town, and due to the pirate being cursed, he has no memories of his past life. This is where Jack Skellington comes in and begins to search for his sense of belonging in the community. He eventually comes to the realization that all he is good at is scaring people, and that's okay with him. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a very Jack Sparrow thing to say. Coming in at our number 9 spot, we had Disney Didn't Like DEPPS' iteration of Jack Sparrow. When we think of Captain Jack Sparrow, all we can think about is Johnny Depp, because he embodies that character so well and he's just so damn entertaining. He plays the role so well that it's almost impossible to imagine anyone else playing that character. However, when the Pirates of the Caribbean first released back in 2003, Disney hated his version of Jack Sparrow, even going as far as Disney CEO Michael Eisner saying, quote, he was ruining the film. Disney wanted Jack Sparrow as a supporting role who was just your average take the loot and run type of pirate. But Depp had a completely different vision. He was inspired by Pepe Le Pew and English musician Keith Richards. He believed pirates to be a type of rock star of the seas and wanted to show that vision in his role. When the film was released and the public fell in love with Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, Disney couldn't help but suck up their opinions, sit back, and enjoy the movies. Coming in at our number 8 spot, we have a poor mental health. Jack Sparrow is, beyond a doubt, a witty, slick, and extremely dynamic character in the franchise. He loves traveling the 7 seas, but somehow he finds himself at the center of conflict everywhere he goes. Okay, I know he's a pirate and that's the sort of thing pirates do, but Jack is much more different than that. And a lot of these indifferences could be explained through his mental processes. He shows symptoms of schizophrenia. You can tell because oftentimes he will hear hallucinations and see delusions of multiple versions of himself talking to him. Running our list down at number 7, we have Jack Sparrow is immortal or is extremely lucky. This theory might not come to a surprise to many, especially since Jack does death-defying acts at all times of the movies. For example, in the second rendition of the Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a scene where he escapes an island filled with cannibals. He manages to escape by falling right off a cliff, which in reality was at a height no one could survive at. Jack was left unharmed and with no injuries. In the 4th movie, he falls off yet another cliff. If he just jumped a little bit to the left or to the right, he would have died on impact. But Jack being Jack means that he takes 0 fall damage. Coming in at number 6, we have Jack Sparrow's name-held plot secrets. In the 2003 film Curse of the Black Pearl, we are first introduced to the infamous captain. We see that Jack wears a sparrow name literally on his arm as a set of tattoos. He got his name from the original battle with Captain Salazar. This was during a flashback of a young Jack. In this ordeal, Salazar said, quote, he just stood there looking like a little bird. Jack managed to outmaneuver Salazar, causing him to perish. However, this had another meaning to it. Let's talk about sparrow birds for a second. Not only do sparrows live free, like Jack does on the seven seas, well, we all know Jack is definitely not quiet, nor is he introverted by any means. Right in the hump of our list, we have Jack Sparrow's mom is a cannibal. You ever notice how they tell us nothing about Sparrow's mom? Although her story is not important to the franchise, knowing the origins of Jack Sparrow's life is pretty important to us fans. Fans have theorized that Jack Sparrow's mother is actually a part of a cannibal tribe. Jack Sparrow's dad, Edward Teague, was a fearsome pirate with fortune that only few could imagine. It's believed he ended up on an island that inhabited the Naga tribe of India. If we look at the Naga tribe's use of braids and beads, you could kind of see the resemblance. Pirates like Barbarossa, Sparrow, and Teague wore outfits that hold clear tribal significance. Teague has feathers on the top of his hat similar to how the Naga warriors would wear on their head. And besides, no other pirate in the seven seas had braids like Jack and Ed does. Stealing our number 4 spot, we have his descent into alcoholism. Is there really any time where we don't see Captain Jack Sparrow acting drunk during the movies? I don't think so. It almost seems as if he's in a permanent drunken state, but that's exactly what actor Johnny Depp was trying to portray. Disney actually thought Depp was ruining the character, as mentioned before, by showing minors that a mindless drunk can also be a hero. One of the film's producers even wanted to put subtitles down for Sparrow just because they couldn't understand some of the words coming out of his mouth. However, this was completely denied because this was just Depp expressing his creative process as an actor. The alcohol takes over the character more and more throughout the films, and you can see how much affect the character's ability to make quick and intellectual decisions. His luck pulls him out of many tough situations though. I honestly don't know why I'm judging his drinking so much. He's a pirate after all, and since all he does is sail in the open waters, drinking is probably the best thing to do. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have one of Jack's first crewmates was a cousin of his future rival. Jack's rival, James Norrington, started off as a pretty natural adversary for Jack Sparrow. Jack was a pirate while James served as aristocrats of the world. They got along like oil and water. In the first movie, James showed leniency with Jack, but that was all but a facade. James hated Jack and blamed the pirate for ruining his whole life. As it turned out, Jack met James' older cousin as a teenager. Fitzwilliam P. Dalton III was his name, and he was one of the first members of Jack's first pirate crew looking to find the Sword of Cortez. Eventually, Dalton would betray Jack, revealing that he was a British Royal Navy spy the whole time. At our number 2 spot, we have Jack Sparrow was branded a pirate for doing good. So here's a little bit of backstory for Captain Jack Sparrow. He was a former captain of the Wicked Wench, which was a galleon that operated under the East Indian trading flag. He was just your regular average pirate at the time, looking for any way to make a fortune. All until that fortune came in the form of slaves. The governor of that trading company was Cutler Beckett, and one day he decided to sell the ship to Sparrow in hopes he'd transport a shipment of slaves. Sparrow originally agreed due to his greed and lust for money, but his conscience quickly caught up back with him. After denying to transport these slaves, Beckett branded him a pirate, and to add insult to injury, he forced Jack to watch as they burned down the Wicked Wench. All the way at our number 1 spot, we have the compass was the key to everything. Jack Sparrow's compass, also known as a windrose, was an unusual navigational instrument shrouded in speculation. He bartered it from the voodoo mystic Tiadama, and later inherited from his captain. At first, the compass was deemed unusable since it didn't even point true north. It wasn't your ordinary compass. This magical compass would only point to the thing the owner desired most. This is why I believed it was the most important tool in the whole film. And without the compass, nothing would be accomplished, leading Jack to a regular pirate life. The compass leads Jack to the Isle de la Muerte in the first film, and then to the heart of Davy Jones in the second film, and helps Gibbs get back the Black Pearl on Stranger Tides. Without the compass's help, Jack would just be another regular pirate roaming the 7 seas. These are your top 10 Captain Jack Sparrow scary urban legends. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm your host Andrew, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.